Hello, gaming soloists. Hello, Dr. Nick. So I am doing a haul today. I don't go to conventions, and I don't usually buy a bunch. I can't drop a bunch of cash on games at once, but I do two kinds of hauls. I will release my holds from Game Nerds. And for those of you who are more into the solo board games, I will be doing that soon. The other type of haul that I do is when there is a sale, like at DTRPG, and they are currently having a Halloween sale, which means a lot of their spoopy RPGs are on sale. And we are going to take a look at what I've already gotten. And if you have been shopping the Halloween sale and you think that there's an especially good RPG for soloing, I would appreciate it if you would let me know about it. Okay, so the first thing, though, you see it right here. It is not something that I got as part of the DTRPG Halloween sale, but it is something that's going on right now, which is the bundle of holding Weird Frontiers bundle. I only got the starter collection for $6, the 908-page Weird Frontiers core rulebook, because I'm not sure about DCC modules, as I have not actually played one solo, and I'm not sure how much fun they are to play solo. I have a ton of Dungeon Crawl Classics modules, so it's ridiculous. I got them in I think at least 2 bags of holdings. So, I probably have 100 of them. And I'm going to try those out before I start sinking more money into it. I have Weird West tales that I feel like I would like to tell regardless. So I did grab this. And if you are interested in the wildness of Dungeon Crawl Classics, but with a Cthulhu Weird West tabletop or Cthulhu Weird West feel, then this might be for you. Let's see, an alternate 1865 cultists of Nyarlathotep. Nyarlathotep. I can just bust out those words. I don't know why people say that they're so hard. Brought on the 7 days of night to awaken long dormant elder gods. So there we go. Now, I believe that 1865 is also the year where things went different in Deadlands, Weird West, where all of the dead from the Civil War rose up. And instead here we've got a cult that brings about a Cthulhu elder god. Well, opens the gates. He doesn't, I believe that he doesn't actually make it through, but it doesn't make it through, but it changes the world forever. Anyway, 908 pages. Let's just take a quick look at this beast. I'm going to print this, but I'm not going to print one 900-page document. If you look at it, so you've got the welcome. And see, now let me show you something that I do not like to see when I'm printing, except for the fact that it's just a header page. It doesn't actually contain information. I won't print pages like this. That's going to come up later. We've got the classes. I might print the classes in their own book for referencing. We'll see. Rules. So here we already are to page 126, and this might be like the first part that I print. And I would print that too. And then Magic is going to be its own separate. So Magic, I'm imagining 3 or 4 books. One of them is Magic, page 156 to 537. Okay. So, right there, you've got 400 pages carved out into a printout, which is 200 sheets of paper, which binds up, is kind of pushing the limits. I might have to buy some extra long clips for it. You've got the bestiary, starts on page 652 and runs to 778. So you see that carves out another 120 pages. And then you can put the either make a third of the everything else or also break out the classes. Up to you. I mean, up to me. But I thought that this looked really interesting, and I like westerns. I like Weird West. If like in my own imagination, I've written some books that kind of are Weird West. Bird in Kansas and Blood Tells True. It's at least monsters in the West, and yeah, I thought this was a good deal. Wanted to let you guys know about it if you haven't checked it out yet. Okay, so let's get to what I actually purchased from the Thru RPG Halloween sale. Okay, so one thing that you'll see on my Thru RPG in the library is that the Weird Frontiers is there. So that's a nice thing. If you don't like buying PDFs that you then, like if you lose your hard drive, you've just lost it, or could be spread out amongst a bunch of different places. One thing that I like personally about Bundle of Holding is it makes it part of your Thru RPG account. So here's the Weird Frontiers stuff that came with just the original, or with just the book. Okay, now I was going on a downloading spree this time. I decided, hey, it's time to check out that Shadowdark RPG Quick Start set. Everybody's talking about it, but I don't want to drop $30 on the RPG yet. This supposedly will take you through level 3, I think. So I got this, and you can get it too for free. Pure black headers, not a fan of those. Use a lot of toner. So sometimes I'll cover those up with content box or with text boxes. Save on toner. And then we got the Shadowdark Quick Start Game Master Guide. So I don't know actually if I'm going to print this out yet or not. I need to read it and make sure it's for me. One thing that I won't be doing is doing an hour of real-time gaming per torch, which I've heard is one of the main differentiating features of Shadowdark, because if I'm journaling while I'm doing this and it's not going as quickly as I speak, then that would put me at a real severe disadvantage. Okay, the Unseen World. I think that this one was maybe $3 or $4 in the sale, and I just thought that it looked really interesting and perfect for solo because it is 100% gamified. It is a solitaire game book. Now they call it a game book, but it's not a game book in the style of Fabled Lands or Lone Wolf or something where you're just flipping from paragraph to paragraph. It has a bunch of, it's more procedurally generated, like 4AD or something, where you are rolling on a ton of tables and generating. You're a paranormal investigator in Japan, and you're seeing how far, modern Japan, you're seeing like how far your dollars can carry you as you do these investigations, and then you post them as like blog posts, or you might be able to add them as a chapter in your book, which you'll get if you can hold out for multiple missions before you cash in. Will make you a lot more money per adventure. You might lose your will and have to fall out. I've read this. I haven't printed it out yet. This is not great for printing, but I will print it out anyway. You can see I'm not a fan of the colored backgrounds, but I am more, I don't know. I was gonna say I'm more of a fan than inverted pages, but I don't know if I am or not. So you've got all of these. What I love is it's got, so if you watch Asian horror, which I was really huge into, I watched all the Japanese horror movies, and then some of cool stuff was coming out of China with like the Pang brothers, I think, if I remember correctly, and was watched, and then a ton of cool movies coming out of like Thailand. And this has all of the sort of things that you would expect to find. So you will go to could go to an abandoned school, shrine, and you've got these encounters, forest encounters, apartment buildings. So you're thinking like of all of the different sort of movies that you've seen in these, in these environments, old house encounters. It seems really cool. I don't know if it leaves a lot of room for the actual role playing. It's so tightly gamified, but it seems fun regardless. And it would be kind of cool to write something based off of it, because of the fact that you are a reporter trying to, and not just a reporter, you are a person who makes media. And so you can see that you've got these traits: outgoing loner, researcher, medium, streamer, writer. And then you can buy different gear that helps you: an EMF reader, a digital recorder, upgrade to the mic attachment, camping gear so you can ignore the travel by foot penalty, laptop, an old van so you can carry more stuff. And then you've got rare items: a book of folklore, book of ghosts, cursed doll, pro editing software. It's really cool. Talking about it's kind of getting me pumped up. And then you go and you have to find the information, and it can split off there. So you get the first information, and that tells you, was it a murder, suicide, fire, earthquake, curse, unknown. And then if the second information was murder, then you've got these different possible results. As you are discovering more and more, you've got to go and you've got to look for evidence. You've got to go to the library. You've got to inquire around town and talk to people, talk to NPCs. You've got to do a probe where you actually go to the haunted area and gather evidence. And each one of those can give you different kinds of evidence that you cash in to get all that sort of information. And then you go and you have your final investigation. Once to investigate a haunt location, you must have 3 pieces of information filled in at that location. And so then you can go, I guess, and kind of do the actual like recording of everything and try to last for as long as you can. And then the final one is always this castle that is like a legendary haunted spot that I think kind of appears to you. I don't know. Okay, this is one thing I was looking for is you get evidence, and then you can spend the evidence, and you can kind of turn it into yen. So if you can take 3 evidence and you can make it into a blog article, you can take, and you get 5,000 yen, but you can take 4 evidence and turn it into the chapter of a book. The problem is, so you can only make 1 book per case, and you have to have 6 chapters, so 6 cases. But if you can hold out that long, then you get 120,000 yen. A magazine article, online video, appearance on the news, and full documentary. And at the end, once you have either beat the castle or you have run out of money and been turned into a haunted husk of a human, then you get to see like what your reputation is at the end. And I don't want to flip to that in case it, might spoil something. Just very, very cool. Okay, so next we have Never Going Home, which I want to say I got for $6 and normally goes for 10. This one I haven't read yet, so I can't say too much about it. I've been kind of having a feel for these trench warfare games, but basically there was so much, my understanding is that I don't know if I can print this off. See, I didn't look at the sample of this. I don't know if I want to spend the toner to print this, which is sad. But anyway, I think it is that there was so much carnage in the trenches of World War I that it caused a breach to open in reality, and horrible things poured through. So it looks cool. I've been theoretically into the idea of playing these trench warfare games. I printed out some good terrain. Now, I don't know if the minis can be used with this or not. I thought it looked interesting, at least a cool read for $6. It's 120 pages. We'll see. Okay, and then I found Blood Moon Apocalypse was at a really low price. It is only 25 pages, but I was like, oh, a Black Oath game for only $4. I got to check this out. It's very gamified. It reminds me of, say, For Against Darkness, but even more abstracted because the demons are basically fully abstracted into, like, you don't have a real full combat. But you've got attributes, so if you want to expand and do more role-playing, in my opinion, as long as you've got attributes, you can on your own gamify any sort of tests to make things that aren't covered by the book possible for you to check without feeling like you're a cheater. I'm not going to flip through the whole thing, show every page because it's so short, but it's a demons have invaded. This looks like zombies, but they are like demon possessed people, and you are setting up a stronghold somewhere, a base, and you are going out on runs, and you are doing a lot of survival stuff. So if you remember, what was drawing me to Forbidden Lands was that survival day-to-day aspect, and this really has that, where you're hoping to find enough to be able to build onto your base and make your situation better. You're hoping to find enough resources that you're not just barely getting by, but you're able to slowly improve your situation. And that seems cool. It seems like where Forbidden Lands can go if you play long enough to get a stronghold, but this is right up at the beginning. So it sounds fun. It seems like, because it's got the stats, that there is room for more role playing if you want to do that. It also seems like you can just straight up play this as more of a straightforward game, because it feels, from what I've read, very tight. I got the OSR random dungeon generator just because I was pulling together a bunch of random dungeon generation resources and printed off a bunch of them. We'll be binding that in a video sometime before too long. So that wasn't really part of the Halloween sale. I believe this is pay what you want. So this we'll take a look. It takes the stuff from first advanced edition of the game and makes it a little bit more accessible. It modernizes some stuff, but and mostly in organization, extracting all the contents from each table, doing all the math, and reorganizing all the options and the order they were presented in. So this means the options in my version are technically still the original ones, but the mechanics behind them are way different. Okay, so I actually am not familiar with the dungeon generation from first advanced edition, but I do know that those games can really be verbose and sometimes they're confusing. So to have it boiled down to 8 pages was welcome. And then the last thing that I have gotten is Fallen RPG by Perplexing Ruins Games. So I have been wanting to give this a try ever since watching Solo RPG Fridays over at the Dungeon Dive. A couple of them with Perplexing Ruins that were a lot of fun. They're some of my favorite things that I've watched about solo RPGs, playing TTRPGs solo at least. And it sounded like his approach matched mine. I like that it has this setting that feels a little bit like Bloodborne, maybe, rather than traditional fantasy. It's got a point crawl focus, I believe. I have not yet read this one. I intend to read it very soon. Only one thing that I don't like about it, and you can see it on this page, they're just, when it is a PDF, I would really appreciate it if there were printer-friendly versions made. Now, what I'm going to do, because I will not use dozens of pages worth of toner to print one page, is I plan on copying this out and making my own, like pasting it into a word processor and printing any page that is inverted. This one's going to be fun to do. So it's not, I don't want to show the whole thing since it's so short, but it's not too bad. But it is why I buy some games physically, like the Merc board games. First of all, you're halfway getting them for the look, and I know that this is well designed. It looks really nice with all the interesting things going on, but I do wish that there was always a printer-friendly version created. It would be nice when you're getting the PDF. I guess enough people use them electronically that that's maybe that's not a consideration, but I always print them out to play from. I will read it and see if it's something I want to print out, but then I will print it out to play from it. Okay, yeah, so that is the Halloween sale haul that I have gotten up to this point. If you have any good recommendations, I would for things that you think are particularly soloable, I would really be interested to know. I see they've got Kernathalis. I think that has a bunch of, I like some things that I'm hearing about this game. Other things, like I know that the combat is complex, and I need to look more into that, because there are way too many games where I have found the combat complex, but it doesn't offer any extra decisions, and I definitely won't play games like that. I want to know also what's different in this from something that I can apply myself to the rules of 4AD or 2D6 dungeon. I know this game is really hot right now, but if you've played this and you have an opinion on if the combat is complex because it gives you decisions to make, let me know about that. So yeah, that is it from me. This is my version of a haul. I hope that you enjoyed this, and at least that found it useful that I pointed you towards a couple of sales. So have a great rest of your day, and keep playing solo.